Hello YouTube world, welcome back to the workshop. A few weeks ago I did a beach bowl, 3 legs, quite an interesting little project to do, and it was funny because several people spoke to me about it afterwards and they said that they actually liked it with the rim on the bottom like a pedestal before I actually turned the 3 feet on it. So just for them, what I thought I'd do this week is do a pedestal bowl. So I had a quick route around on my shelves and I came up with this piece of walnut. You see on there, there's quite a nice figure. I've rough turned it a long time ago. There's some quite pretty grain running through there, so it should make quite a nice piece to turn. The walnut that I have, I started wood turning about 5 years ago now, and not long after I started wood turning, my wife was at a funeral, happened to mention to one of her cousins about the new hobby, and he said that there was a walnut tree come down on the estate where he worked. Been down about 4 years, and nobody seemed to be particularly interested in it. They couldn't get anybody to come and cut it up or anything. And he said if I give the estate manager a ring, there's a very good chance I'd go up and help myself, which I duly did. And he said, come along, let me know when you're on the estate, and you can help yourself. So I went up there and chopped this walnut tree up, and I got some beautiful wood out of it. I suppose a good thing about it was, not only is walnut a lovely wood to turn, but it gave me quite a lot of pieces of wood to practice on, and it didn't actually cost me anything, apart from my time to cut it up with my chainsaw. So that's how I ended up with a walnut tree in my back garden. So, let's say, that's the piece I'm going to turn today. We're going to make a pedestal bowl out of it, and we'll see how it turns out. So this is going to be the bottom of the bowl, and the very first thing I want to do, this is go in with my biggest tools I've got. They're closed up at the moment, so if I can make that big enough so that just sits inside and just open it up, I can use those in expansion mode to grip the bottom of the bowl. So first I want to face across the bottom of the bowl. That's the bottom turned out. That's my big tools. They fit in there nicely. So what I'm going to do now is just turn what would you call the waist. So now I'm coming in and just to form the waist and the pedestal of the bowl. You see I'm just coming in here, I've got my 3/8 spindle gauge, and I'm just gradually working from each side, just gradually taking that down. And here I'm just taking away the actual base of the bowl, because what you want to do when you look at the bowl, it wants to taper down, not only the sides of the bowl, but it needs to taper down to the base as well, so everything looks in proportion. Here now I'm just quickly roughing some wood away, because I'm trying to define the overall shape of the bowl to give it that nice, what I'd call like a chalice, that nice cup, so you can hold it in your hands and it feels natural to hold it in your hands. Just gradually working this down deeper and deeper. Now I am governed on the size of my foot by that recess I put in the bottom. So here you can see I'm coming in now to some of my final cuts. Just working that down. Just gradually smoothing that way to get me that nice finished shape. Here I'm just coming in because I want to put a rim on this bowl, so I'm just giving myself a little bit of an undercut. Just taking that away. So that's my overall shape. I am quite happy with that. So as I said, this final shape, I'm quite happy with that, and I've just gone in there to sand this down. I've had to use a sanding pad on here in the electric drill. I did get quite a bit of tear out on this. The wood is ever so dry. If there's any other wood turners watching this, perhaps you could just leave a comment in the bottom. Is it possible to make this wet or damp to get it back to the same as if it was green wood, to stop that tear out? I don't know whether you can do it or not. Just dampen it down would have the same effect on it or not. But that's really where it's got, obviously, it has got quite dry, and it is experienced quite a lot of tear out on that. Please leave a comment on the bottom if you know the answer to that. So that's all shaped, it's all sanded, and now to applying the sand and sealer. And this is the bit I like best, because that really brings that grain out. You can see that beautiful grain appearing in that wood now. Look at that. That is what we turn wood for. That is beautiful. I really do like that. This is very typical walnut. Such a beautiful wood, such beautiful grain. Really nice to turn. So I finished applying sand and sealer on here, and then I'll wax it, and then I'll get to turning it around in the chuck. Beautiful grain running through there. It's really lovely. That right there, I believe, would have been the centre of the tree. Might have been the centre pith running through there. And then this would have been the dark outer, and then we're getting there into the lighter, softer outer wood. You see we're coming back into it there. Beautiful. And now to polish, and then watch it shine. Well, here it is. I waxed it, I polished it, and I turned it around. I put in my biggest tools I've got, set in that recess and expansion mode. So I'm just starting to hollow now. I've come in, I've got my 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and I'm just using a series of pull strokes and push strokes. I'm just gradually working this way down through and just hollowing it in. I did find this wood, it was quite hard, it was quite chippy. A lot of tear out in there. But even so, it still turned reasonably well. It's just a matter now working my way through, just working my way down, thinning that bowl down. I'm just taking it down to the desired thickness and the desired depth. See, there are some nice big chips coming off of there still. Still cutting really well. There are quite a few cracks in the bottom of this bowl. That again, like I said before, it was the centre of the tree, and it does tend to crack along that, where that pith runs up through the middle. But I did address this with just some sawdust and some super glue. So I've sanded that down to 600 grit sandpaper, and now we're going to apply some sand and sealer. And that, as you can see, has come up just as nice as the outside. Beautiful finish. Let's go for some wax. The gorgeous shine on that grain pattern in there. Absolutely beautiful. So here we go, YouTubers. Another really nice product. For those of you who wanted a pedestal bowl, there's a pedestal bowl for you. I do like that. I particularly like turning that walnut. Although I have to say it has got quite dry. It did chip up a lot. However, I had it in my storeroom for about 5 years, so the stuff that I've got left is very dry to use. I've said before, cabinet makers have been using this for years. It is lovely wood to turn, lovely wood to use. It is quite soft to use, but at the same time it's quite hard wearing. You get beautiful finish off of it, and there's some fantastic grain pattern running through there. It is really lovely wood to use, and the smell down in my workshop the next morning is unbelievable. I'm sat in there and that's all I can smell is that lovely smell of that wood, walnut. Really is nice. Pine's the same. If you use pine for anything, you come down to the workshop next day, it's beautiful smell in there. So that's pretty much me done for another week. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching to the end. And as always, I've been Steve Howe, and this really has been a great day in my workshop. I've enjoyed turning that. That's a lovely piece. Proud of that one. Thank you. Goodbye.